Today we're going to be making homemade pizza. With this easy recipe and a few tips, you can make pizza like a pro. So we're going to start out with our pizza crust. In this bowl I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. You can also use bread flour. It will give you a little bit crispier crust. And to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon or 1 package of active dry yeast. Now, if your yeast has been in your pantry for at least a year, just throw it out and buy some more yeast. This step can be done in a stand mixer, but I'm just going to work with my hands today because they're just as easy. So I'm going to start by mixing all those ingredients together, just like that. And to this, I'm going to add 1½ cups of warm water, to which 2 tablespoons of olive oil have been added. I'm just going to make a little well in the center of the flour, and I'm just going to add maybe about 1/4 cup at a time. Okay, you can see all those dry bits are there, and they've all been worked into the flour. It's coming together really nicely. I can feel that it's a little bit wet. I don't know if you can see that up close, but it's a little bit on the wet side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flour to my bowl, and I'm going to work that in. We want this pizza dough to be not too wet and not too dry. So if you find that your dough is a little on the wet side, you can correct it by adding 1 tablespoon of flour at a time. If it's too dry, you can just add 1 tablespoon of water until we get the perfect consistency. And this seems pretty perfect to me. I think if I can hold it up, you can just see between my fingers, they're nice and doughy, how stretchy that is. Okay, we're ready to knead the dough. So we're going to work on a clean, flat surface that's been dusted with a little bit of flour. I like to work on a piece of parchment paper because it makes cleanup nice and easy. So I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of flour. I'm going to plop my dough right on top, and I'm going to just knead my dough for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's nice and soft and supple. Our dough has been nicely kneaded and it feels soft and elastic. This is going to make a great pizza crust. And we're ready to let our dough rise. So we're going to put it inside a large bowl that has been oiled with a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to cover it with a piece of plastic, a kitchen towel, or another piece of parchment paper. And we're going to leave it in a warm place, like the top of your fridge, or even inside your oven with the light on for 1 hour. Okay, so it looks like our dough has doubled in volume. It looks great. I'm going to turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. A little bit of flour. All right. And what we're going to do with this dough is we're going to divide it into 2 equal portions. Now this recipe makes 2 14-inch crusts. Just follow the link for the pizza dough recipe. I'm going to take 1 portion, I'm going to put it inside a bowl, and I'm going to cover and let it rest for 10 minutes. If you don't plan to make a second pizza today, you can just wrap your leftover piece up in plastic and keep it in your fridge until the next day. While my dough is resting, I put my pizza pan into the oven on the middle rack, and I set my oven to a hot 475 degrees. If you don't have a pizza pan or a pizza stone, you can even use a heavy gauge baking sheet, just like this one. Okay, so my dough is ready to be rolled out. I'm going to turn it out onto some lightly floured parchment paper. And you can use your hands to stretch out your pizza dough, or you can use a rolling pin. I'm going to start rolling my dough out from the center outwards, so we get a nice round shape on our crust. If you need more flour, just sprinkle a little bit more flour on the surface as you're rolling your pizza crust out. Okay, so our pizza dough has been rolled out to about 14 inches across, and now we're going to transfer it onto our hot pizza plate. This is where the parchment paper makes it nice and easy to transfer the dough on. Okay, so we're ready for our pizza toppings. We're going to start with a little bit of sauce. We're going to start with a ½ cup of pizza sauce, about like that. I like a little bit more sauce on my pizza, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And we're going to take it right out, almost to the edge. Just like that. That looks pretty good to me. Then we're going to start layering on our choice of meat. Today I'm making a very simple, classic pepperoni pizza. And we're just going to cover that pizza sauce. Now we're ready to add our veggies. Now I'm going to top everything with a generous 2½ cups of shredded mozzarella. You can use whatever cheese is your favorite, but I always like to go with mozzarella for my pizzas. And now I'm going to put my pizza in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so our pizza looks pretty perfect to me. The cheese is all melted and the crust is a golden brown. Now all we have to do is wait 5 or 10 minutes for it to cool before we can eat it, if you can wait that long. Father's Day is coming up this weekend, and I'd like to see the dads and kids make their own pizzas. Send your photos into the Beaumont Library with yourselves and your pizza creations for a chance to win one of 2 $25 gift certificates to a local pizzeria. I can't wait to see your pizzas.